Sisterhood Extravaganza, who accepted my invitation literally impromptu this morning because I had a cancellation. So thank you for saving the day. I like super appreciate you. And also, this is kind of like probably the only way you and I would ever get to talk to each other on Relentless Talk Radio. Because we've been trying for like 2 years to get you on, and we're always so busy, you know. So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Well, thank you so much for reaching out and having me and for us connecting today, Michelle. So thank you. Thank you. My name is Pat Gillum. I am the CEO and founder of the Sisterhood Extravaganza. It is a women's empowerment organization. We are a 501c3 organization that's really dedicated to the empowerment of women and girls. And what I am known for, Michelle, obviously, is the mindset and empowerment coach. So I believe that everything that we will ever achieve in life starts in our mind first. And so those are some of the principles around the work that I do. So I'm excited to be here and to share with your audience on what that looks like. And how
what's really funny is that I usually try to pick the topic for the show once I get the 2 guests in the gate. But this time, I actually had to choose the topic before I knew who the guests were going to be because I had 2 cancellations. And I just started reading Miracle Morning, and it's all about mindset in the morning, right? Have you read that book?
Listen, I am Hal Elrod is one of my mentors. And so not only is he like a guru of the Miracle Morning, he has, which I give to all of my clients, the 6 Miracle Morning, right? Because so many people think it takes a long time to do things in the morning, but if you can get yourself in a routine, and he shows you how to do it in 6 minutes, right? I love it.
You know, it's funny. I am definitely I'm doing longer cardio in the morning because you and I are both bikini, I can't say it, bikini competitors. And I hopefully have a competition this fall. So I need to do a longer cardio session. I'm building it into my Miracle Morning, and I want to read longer and I want to write longer, but I also know that if I had to cut it down to 6 minutes, I could. Yeah. I think people use the excuse a lot that it's that there's not enough time.
Yeah. And now with what's going on, if you're watching this or if you are watching the replay later, people will know we are in the middle of a pandemic, right? A coronavirus. And so this is really an opportune time for all of us to be in a position to slow down. We're not finding ourselves running out of the door first thing in the morning sometimes anymore. So really, it is a really good opportunity for us to really be mindful of those first 6 minutes or first 15 minutes or how our day is starting, and to know that we can wake up being positive, even in the midst of everything that's going on around us.
I find that I've been giving my mornings away to others too much. So that time that I used to spend grounding myself, I was giving away.
Yeah, you know why? Because most Americans do that. I think most people now do that. You know, we used to wake up, and what do? We wake up, we go to the bathroom, you know, relieve ourselves, and then the first thing we do is grab this thing.
Yeah.
And so that's giving yourself away right then and there. You don't make time for you.
Yeah.
So one of the rules in my house, and people who know me, I never take any electronics into the bedroom. So there's no television, there's no phone, nothing's in the bedroom.
100%. I mean,
say what?
People put too much stuff in their bedroom.
Yeah.
The television is definitely a bad idea.
It is. I think television, cell phones, whatever. How did people get? Because people are like, well, I don't want to miss a call. What if it's an emergency? You know, what did you do prior to your phone? So I want to really get us back to those times. And I think this is one of those times that we're really realizing what's important to us now.
I think so too. So why do you do what you do? I mean, I've known you for a while, so we've spent a couple minutes together, but tell everybody why you're an empowerment coach and how come? I mean, you could have done anything else. How come this?
Yeah, and I've done a whole lot of things which have really been part of my growth and my development along this journey. I believe, Michelle, that everything we experience, every job, every career, every person, everything we've gone through is to prepare us and to give us tools to put in our toolbox to really help us along this journey. And so I have always known that one of my biggest whys is I show up not only just to make a difference in my life, but to make a difference in other people's lives, to let them know what is possible and to truly make a difference and make this world a better place. And that is what I see you doing. It's like when I see you with your health, you know, it's not that you're just doing it because you want to be your best self, but you invite people along in the journey to help them be their best selves, right? So that we're better as a society, and we're better, I think, in the world as a result of what we do. So that's my why. My why is to not only just show up for me, but to show up to make a difference for others.
I think that when I think a year ago, I looked at, you know, what am I doing? You know, like in all the things that I've ever done, what's the thing that's been driving me? And it's always been to lift up and encourage others so they can discover their best. And one of my friends said she wanted me to finish the sentence so that fill in the blank. And I'm like, you know, I'm not that arrogant. I don't know what other people's best are.
Right. And you're not going to.
And it doesn't really matter to me.
But I am so glad you said that. So the reality is you show up so that others can be their best. And here's what I can tell you if you're watching this or watching the replay. Most of us don't understand what our best is because we have been conditioned to look at everybody else's best and compare ourselves to what that should be for us. But this is the time to really help people get clear about what is it that you want? What is your best for you? And then our goal is to help inspire you, encourage you, elevate you to know that it's possible that you can achieve it.
You know, I also think one of the best things I could ever do for somebody is to show up messy. I think people think they have to have it all figured out. Like I have had a hellacious week this week. I actually last week was not able to do Relentless Talk Radio because Tuesday was a shit show. I just couldn't do it. There's just no way. There was no internet connection. I just couldn't do it. So I think sometimes we spend a lot of time trying to look perfect and trying to be perfect, and it's doing a disservice to each other.
Yeah.
That is not reality. People are messy. You know, this COVID thing is flipping messy. I mean, it's just a messy situation. And I think like I'm going to ask you this question next, but I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in my life is that you have to show up messy. What's one of the biggest lessons you've learned about being in business?
I think one of the biggest lessons for me, not only that I've learned this, Michelle, in business, but I've actually learned this in life. I've learned this in my relationships. So this lesson applies to the totality of who we are and what we're created to be, and that I want to show up in love. That's the biggest lesson I've always learned. And I feel like when you show up in love, whether people got it all together, and we all do in some area of our lives, or you show up messy, as you say, right? But if I'm covering you with love, whether no matter how you show up in compassion, right? You're going to flourish. You're going to be your best. So that's my biggest lesson I've learned in love and in business and in my relationships and in my life. I always have to show up in love. If I'm not in love with me or what I'm doing, it's not going to be what it's called to be in alignment with who I am. And so I just want to show up. That's the lesson I've learned. So I'm showing up in love.
One of our faves just chimed in live, Elena Thornton. She says, my two beautiful sister friends love you. Elena Thornton is one of the most loving human beings I've ever met, like just universally. She's a really good example of what you just said. I think it's really funny that she showed up right at that moment. I think it's really cool. Also, Shar McCready, who's coming on next, is also saying that she loves morning. It's a total miracle morning is a book for her. So I love that you can like show people's comments on BeLive. So what do you think the biggest, you know, I kind of just Googled right before I did my first little segment about becoming your best, and some of the things that came up really resonated. But what would you say one or two things you could do to help you to become your best?
So Michelle, for me, I will tell you this. Again, I do this for myself, and I show up to make sure people do this for themselves. You really have to operate in clarity. You got to have a vision for what is your best self, but you got to be clear about what that is first. If you're not clear about what does your best self look like, then you're never going to be able to achieve what that is, because you'll always be all over the place. And the reason we have to get clear about what does it mean to be my best self, it's really around saying, you know, for me, I'm a very spiritual person. So let me be clear, I'm not religious at all. I'm
Mhm.
very spiritual. And so being spiritual, I have some um, principles that guide me in being my best. And they really are really all revolving around the fruits of the spirit, which are one of the things that are it's in the Bible. And it's about showing up in love, having peace, long suffering, kindness. And I'm not just talking about having those things towards other people. We have to start being kind to ourselves. We have to speak positive to ourselves so that we can
Yeah.
then emulate that onto others. So those are some of the qualities for me when I look at what does it mean to really start becoming my best. I need to have certain qualities in me to really be my best so that I can literally show up and allow my light to shine so people can see the kindness, they can see the love, they can see the long suffering that happens, right? So those are the things. We're so busy looking outwardly at things to make us be our best, but we
Mhm.
really have to start going inwardly to say, when all that stuff fades away, when the houses, the cars, the money, all those material things, what is it that is innate in me that helps me always be my best? And those are some of the qualities I'm hoping that people will get out of this.
You know, it's interesting that you say that, because I think that when I find myself around people that are caught in the ick, you know, the ick, the people that just kind of they just can't see the glass is always half empty. Someone's always not right. There's always something just, you know. And there is stuff like that that happens, but I think we have to be really careful. We have to guard our thoughts, because if you make a habit of negativity, you start to treat yourself like that. And when you stop being kind to yourself, why would other people be kind to you?
Yes. But sometimes people don't even know when they're not being kind to themselves. And I'll tell you, it's really hard. Like the thing I deal with really around people and the women that I coach around self-esteem, a lot of us don't know that we have low self-esteem, because who taught you that? No one taught us about self-esteem. I never got a class in that. So there are certain things that we struggle with, though, as people, that we don't think we have a problem with because we've never really had someone address it to us in a way that says, wow, yeah, maybe I do need some help with that.
Right.
Maybe I'm really struggling with my confidence. But, you know, because we've done some great things, now our confidence wavers based on situations that we find ourselves in. And we don't want to, like you say, show up messy sometimes to people so that we can get the help sometimes that we need. And
Right.
so I just feel like if we can just remember, no matter how we show up in love, show up in, I need to be able to love myself so that I can show up loving towards
Other
others.
people, absolutely. So you usually do a lot of face-to-face events through the year. So how is COVID changing how you're operating? Because I know you have the extravaganza that you do every year, and you have a big gala that you do every year. How is COVID? How are you adjusting your sales?
Well, so here's the thing. I'm loving this time we're in. I have to tell people because they're saying, what? I'm like, yeah, this is another opportunity for us to do something great. I love the whole restart, restructure, all of those things. And I will tell you, because you brought this up, every year we do a huge gala. And it really is not only just a fundraiser for my organization, it is also an opportunity to really shine the light on women who are doing some great things that really do help others and that better the world. So that's what that whole galas for. But what happens is the workshops and the luncheons that we have, the in-person events along the way, have been limited to people who were only in our proximity. So if you weren't in Phoenix, you weren't going to get access to that. So now, because we have a virtual platform, we are really getting people in this organization from all over the world now. So knowing that COVID-19 has opened up the gateway to really show people in different cities and different states what is possible to have in their city, a sisterhood extravaganza. It has really, business is amazing right now. I'm telling you, it's great. I'm excited. I need more of me. We've created new programs, Michelle, as a result of that. So coming up June 1st, we have a Writers Academy. Sisterhood is launching their Writers Academy for people who have a desire to write a book. We have our Speakers Academy, which are people who want to speak more effectively and get speaking engagements based maybe on a book that they wrote. So a lot of great opportunities are coming as a result of this.
You know, I'm smiling as you're saying this because I was nominated for the LLS, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society's Women of the Year this year.
Congratulations!
Thank you. And I accepted the nomination, but I decided, given the project that I wanted to produce, two of the projects. One was a bike rally, right? And I wasn't sure what was going to happen with the biker culture. The other was my Micalizzi Gives project, which would include a retail component. So I thought that it would be best for me to wait based upon where we're at right now and also where I'm personally at. So I postponed my acceptance until next year, but I am part of the leadership committee. And what you're saying is exactly what I said to the LLS team. Like, this is great because now we can have, last year, there was about 1,000 people in the room and we raised about $1 million in one night with 1,000 people in the room. I said, now we have a humongous global room. And maybe moving forward, we have the gala again at some point with a physical space, but now we've got the technology that can support a much larger. So if we could do $1 million with 1,000 people in the room, what's going to happen now? Like, I was super excited. You know, I am excited about what's happening. I also think that because of COVID, people are embracing technology in a way that they would never have embraced it before. And that's opened up avenues for Relentless Talk Radio with different kinds of special editions and different types of work that I can add on to what I'm already doing. So all of a sudden, how I work is making sense to people. Yeah. So I feel like I was almost ahead of the curve a little bit on how I've been operating. But I feel the same way as you do. I feel like it's a global culture, and COVID is actually opened up the world in a way that it wouldn't have otherwise, because people have been forced to embrace streaming everything, right?
There you go. And I'm telling you, and I only want to share the story because prior to COVID-19, I had a young woman reaching out to me saying, hey, I want a Sisterhood Extravaganza here in Florida. Do you think you can come to Florida, help us set up and have meetings here and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, I was constantly trying to push her to do this thing online, to say, you know, people want to get their information online. You know, all online academies right now to get information is booming right now. They're exceeding their goals because people can feel like I don't have to drive, get dressed anywhere, and I can get the information right here in my living room. And so now she was not open to it prior to COVID-19, and now she's very open to it. So I agree with you, Michelle. People are grasping this concept a lot more.
So Elena Thornton actually went ahead and gave you a website.
Listen, Elena is on my advisory board. She is so amazing.
So sisterhoodextravaganza.org, okay? And Shar McCready is saying, she's saying, there it goes. Yes, tech used to be used well during this time equals success. So I definitely think that we are in a new we've turned a corner as far as technology. I mean, my family is actually meeting on Sundays all over the world. Like my mom's family in Ireland, I would have never been able to force my cousins to get on Zoom. And now we have cousins in Ireland and cousins in England and cousins in like different parts of Ireland, and me in Arizona, my mom in Vermont, and we're all talking to each other. And then the Italian side is New York, Virginia, Texas, Arizona. And so I think that there's always a silver lining in every situation. There's always a silver lining.
I'm so glad to hear you say that about your family and that you guys are all connecting on Sundays because we're doing the same thing. Listen, I love that, Michelle.
Yeah.
So now you guys have to play family bingo. So get them involved in that.
That's a good idea. And you know what's real? I'm thinking about the times when you and I are talking. Usually we're like driving down the road with our, no hands, okay, and we're talking while we're driving. And I actually made the shift. While I was living in North Phoenix, I stopped traveling as much because of the traffic and the construction while I was there. And you know, now that I'm in a different area of Phoenix, the traffic isn't there. And I made the shift about August of last year to be more virtual. So it's almost like I was like ahead of the curve. So for me, I'm getting more done. I'm breaking my days up, my workouts up. I'm working from the bike. I've just found a different way to restructure myself. And you know, you and I are both entrepreneurs, so me going into an office is just never going to happen. It's just the way it goes. I like being the master of my own destiny, and I think that I'm getting more done now than ever.
Yes.
Once I get back into flow and I reset myself in the mornings, I think I'm going to get like a shit ton done. So I think that COVID has been good for me in most ways, quite frankly, other than being concerned about my mom in Vermont by herself and those types of obvious things. But I think that COVID has been a good reset in some ways, right? Not that I would have wished COVID on us, but it actually has been a very cool reset. So people can get a hold of you at sisterhoodextravaganza.org. How else can they get a hold of you?
So I'm asking people, definitely, thank you, Elena Thornton, for putting the website link up there to become a member, join us, just check us out. We have a lot of free programming for women within the organization, because part of the give back for us being a 501c3 is to be able to offer no cost or low cost programming for women to become empowered to do the thing that they never thought was possible for them to do. So I'm always looking for women to join this organization who have a gift, a skill, or talent that you can also share with someone else about maybe how you overcame something to teach or help.
Well, Pat, the next time you need a speaker, please do put me on your list of folks to contribute.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so the next time you need a speaker and you think that there's something that I can do, that you would like me to talk about, you just let me know and I'll show up with bells on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you, Michelle. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you. So follow me on all the social media platforms. I do a broadcast on Mondays called Mindset Mondays, because usually Mondays was really tough for folks to get up and get going and get in the office. And so my Mindset Monday is all about giving you some tools that you can use to have a successful week. And then also Wednesdays, I highlight women who are a part of the organization and the great things that they're doing. It's called Sisterhood Spotlight. So
well, I am hoping that we get back to the gala, because one of my most favorite dresses ever that's in my closet right now, I bought for one of your galas.
I love that. And you look so beautiful.
I want to buy another dress, you know, so I'm looking forward to the next time we get to dress up together and see each other in person. But I really thank you very much for your time. I'm going to run and go get Shar Micalizzi. She's up next.
Hi, Shar. Yay, thank you, Michelle. I love you.
And thanks a lot for being so impromptu. I love you. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Take care. All right, everybody. We're going to come back next with Shar Micalizzi from Fly with Shar. So I'm going to tune out of here and come right back. Don't go anywhere.